The river in Pictorial is River Mpanga in western Uganda that originates from the Rwenzori Mountains. It is a vital water source for many communities living along its banks. However, River Mpanga is facing serious challenges including pollution, poor waste management, siltation, and reduced water flow, affecting activities such as hydropower generation and water security in the region. To address these problems, the Ministry of Water and Environment, through the Albert Water Management Zone, partnered with Water for People with support from the Conrad N. Hilton Foundation in 2004. Together, they launched a 3-year project focused on watershed management and nature-based water conservation in the Mpanga Catchment.
For this Conrad Hilton Foundation financing or project, we are implementing interventions aimed at enhancing capacity of stakeholders in water resources management through experience sharing, inter-district learning, and inter-stakeholder learning through sharing experience, documentation, and knowledge management. This is a grant we have. It's a 3-year grant or project that will be ending in 2027. Mpanga is critical because it is the one that obstruction is taking place. Unless the catchment is sustained, then those water and sanitation services will not last.
In Ibanda district, the Ministry of Water and Environment, in consultation with district technical staff, mapped over 40 hectares of degraded land in phase 1. With more restoration activities done, survival rate is promising at 80%. At Alinitri Gerard's farm in Kashangura village in Ibanda municipality, 6 hectares were restored through planting indigenous trees.
Tuinoho gurveria, tuinoho eyombeka nkabina na bitano.
We have about 5 types of trees. I believe the 1,600 trees the ministry gave me, when they grow, that little daughter of mine 2 years now, in 30 years, she will be able to study at university.
Kakishikanja kakatoka urukureba ku kariyo mu myaka nk'ibiri. Mwene katugamo mu myaka 30 nango nubwo kusara mu emiti 10. Wanatakuza university.
The trees are now 1 year old and they are doing well. The survival rate in some of the areas that we have visited is high, moving from 80% and above, which is good. It really shows like the community really bought the idea and they really took ownership of these trees. Like right now we are at Mr. Gerard Alnitwe's land where we restored about 6 hectares, and we can see that the restoration is going on very well. The trees are growing well, both the fruit trees and the indigenous trees.
In Kibande village, Rukiri sub-county, a similar project was established at the sub-county. Ndinomugisha Dennis is the caretaker.
Amazina ganje Ndinomugisha Dennis wachobande yukubanza.
My name is Ndinomugisha Dennis, a resident of Chibande 1. The tree project, as it came, we welcomed it in our cell. The trees will provide women with firewood when they grow, also provision of medicine to both women and men. The trees will assist in formation of rain and holding the soil firmly to avoid soil erosion.
Netuyambo nemibazi mwenu neyambo mbachara nabasiza nkenzura kekugwa abwe migero kwifene yoma ati kiko neguma netiyamba kutanga mizi kutwara ye itakar kigaze migera.
At Kiburala Prison Farm, pillars were established to demarcate wetland reserve and land for cultivation. There, indigenous trees were planted on the reserve to boost restoration along the banks of River Mpanga.
It used to be a farmland up to the river banks. But with the engagement with the prison, we were able to carry out demarcation of the 100 meters of River Mpanga. We went ahead to carry out some tree growing to emphasize that we are doing restoration. So we planted a number of seedlings here. We have seen a great progress in this. There's natural regeneration where we have seen a number of species coming back.
Though progress can be witnessed in areas covered, there are challenges that continue to limit the progress of the Conrad N. Hilton Foundation. Network for Environment Services in Kasese is the company contracted to do the work of restoration under the project.
We've faced some challenges. Like in Chibulala, we've got a challenge of animals. Animals, they cross River Wambu from Chitagwenda district. They come and destroy our trees in Chibulala, Beret in Chizongo sub-county. There we've faced a challenge of fire outbreak. And that challenge, that land was initially rented by the people who do some kind of farming there. So when you put such a project, people think that maybe you're trying to chase them away from there. So what they do when they are digging, sometimes they destroy those trees intentionally. But we've engaged with the local leaders around, so they have promised us that they are going to work on that.
With the Conrad N. Hilton Foundation partnership in its second phase, continuous restoration activities are being held to recover the glory of River Mpanga. As Uganda commemorates the 9th Water and Environment Week, leaders from the Ministry of Water and Environment, together with Water for People, held discussions with the Catholic clergy from Fort Portal Catholic Diocese on the role the clergy can play in restoring and protecting River Mpanga.
We had a homogeneous group of the clergy, the Catholic Church in particular, here in Fort Portal Diocese, meeting them to brainstorm and to discuss about the future of River Mpanga, and to discuss the role that the Catholic Church can play in the restoration of River Mpanga and in the protection of the catchment of that river.
In the past, of course, there were quite enormous challenges where the siltation levels within the river system were quite high, and the pollution was also quite high. But ever since the ministry started implementing some of these remedial catchment management measures, at least we have witnessed some changes in the river system. And of course, now the clerical call is to how do we upscale some of these remedial catchment management measures within the river system.
In the meeting, religious leaders said the church will also play a role in encouraging believers to protect the environment.
River Mpanga, first of all, passes through quite a number of parishes, 9 parishes of our diocese, and other parishes which border with it. So a bigger section of the diocese has a relationship with River Mpanga, and our reflection today was to see what is our responsibility towards this natural asset, and how we can join our efforts and other players to conserve it for ourselves and for generations to come.
Father Emmanuel Baguma of St. Charles Lwanga Catholic Church in Fort Portal says in their capacity, they are already implementing what God called them for in protecting nature.
The Diocese of Fort Portal has this mandate. It keeps calling upon us in the parishes to conserve nature. So there is that bigger call from the Diocese of Fort Portal. So because of that, I decided to do something small but very, very meaningful. So we have restored almost 1 kilometer of the river bank. We must actually involve this message in all our preachings so that we do this as a whole.
As commemoration of the 9th Water and Environment Week 2026, the second phase of the Conrad N. Hilton Foundation was launched at Motukula Primary School in Ibanda District to restore River Mpanga catchment.
Water and Environment Week helps us, or has helped us, to lead in the planting of trees, which is going to restore the water catchment area. As a school, we are going to take care of these trees by irrigating them, by checking them on a daily basis.
My name is Nadinda Priska. My school is Mpanga Primary School. Trees are used for herbal medicine. Trees help in controlling soil erosion.
According to Gerard Babi Kizito, Senior Water Officer in the Ministry of Water and Environment, the trees have been chosen basing on the role they play in the environment.
We are here today to launch the planting of trees as one of the signs commemorating the celebration of the Regional Water and Environment Week. During this day, we are encouraging people to plant more indigenous trees, because most of these indigenous trees not only give us other purposes like medicinal uses, but also if it matures and you are to harvest it, you have better timber than what you get from the eucalyptus. And of course, this is not all about planting trees. There is a lot that comes with planting trees. Even if you don't cut it, you can benefit from the carbon credit.
He therefore called upon the public to also stop encroaching on wetlands.
Let them not cultivate in wetlands and riverbanks. Let them protect the riverbanks that passes within their communities. And also to encourage them to reflect that if you are to encroach on a riverbank or a wetland, do you consider your neighbors downstream? Because as the water gets dirty, you get it clean, but if you cultivate and the silt goes in and the color changes, that means your neighbors downstream will not be able to get the good water.
Stakeholders in Mpanga district do appreciate the Conrad N. Hilton Foundation through Ministry of Water and Environment for the move and urge the public to take good care of trees planted.
By planting trees on some of the catchment areas of River Mpanga, eventually the waters of River Mpanga will be rejuvenated. River Mpanga will be restored and water will definitely come up. And once the water levels go up, then the original functions of the river will be rejuvenated and very many people will benefit from River Mpanga.
The target is to ensure that we sustain the environment, because we have seen that trees which are friends of man are getting depleted. The population pressure is destroying the environment, but we have to live sustainably to ensure that the future remains bright and sustainable. Therefore, by preserving here and sustaining the water catchment, the watersheds, we shall ensure that the sustainability of our rivers and lakes in this country, and consequently, we shall live in harmony. The tree that I have planted here at this spot, because the children are our future, I have entrusted it with one Amanya Alex P6 to ensure that this tree remains and maybe it serves as an example, because if others see a younger boy catering for the tree, to ensure that the tree is not depleted or is not destroyed by sunshine, then maybe others will follow the suit, and this project that we have started here will remain and achieve its objectives.
Mpanga District Natural Resources Officer Kira Eli also appreciates the support of the Conrad N. Hilton Foundation project, noting that more farmers are now eager to receive tree seedlings than ever before.
This is just a launch in the district. We are going to plant in 3 places. This is one of them to commemorate this week. Ministry of Water and Environment under the Conrad N. Hilton Foundation is helping us to restore River Mpanga catchment area. Now, the activities they are doing include restoration, where restoration means they are planting trees in the degraded hilltops. They are also carrying out agroforestry interventions in Kashangura, that's Kagongo division in Mpanga municipality, where we are integrating coffee, coffee and riveria trees. We are planting in the watershed areas. We are planting mixed species of indigenous trees, and they are very positive to the interventions, and most of them have requested for tree seedling.
In Kenjojo district, a demonstration garden was established at the farm of Wilson Byamukama in Vientari village, Nyantungo sub-county.
Amabara Wilson Byamukama, ekyaro Vientari, egombora Nyantungu disiki ya Kyenjojo obanyegesezi bampa omwani neja nagubyara kyonka abalimi.
My name is Wilson Mpanga, a resident of Yentare village, Nyatungo sub-county, Kyenjojo district. After the Ministry of Water officials teaching me, they gave me coffee seedlings, which I later planted. Farmers from this sub-county supported me after they realized that my farm was doing well. With this model farm, there's a great change. They dug for me the holes and trenches to help hold running water, and the coffee plants are looking good. Other farmers learn from here and go to practice in their homes. I am hopeful that in future, life will be better. I need water for irrigation, especially during dry seasons and pesticides.
Nindorake nyine omutima gwokunihira n'okugonza nimanya ngo bwiro bw'omwezi njakorake ntujja kuba turi kurungi nyenda kumpa amaizi abukuba omusana ogukujwa omwana tukukorake tukusemera ninyenda n'emibazi ey'okufuhirra.
Several pillars have been demarcated on wetlands in Kyenjojo district to enable restoration along the Mpanga catchment.
It has helped us in Kyenjojo because now people exactly know where we think or where they should be passing, because it has always been a question, how do we know this is where the river passes? How do we know this is the wetland, where the wetland passes? But we are now confident that many of the people we have worked with along the catchment know. With this, people have responded. Others have gotten out, and they're actually asking, what can we do with this land that has remained?
Under the Conrad N. Hilton Foundation, we have actually been implementing in 4 districts, in Kabarole district, in Kyenjojo district, in Ibanda, and also Kamwenge. Here we have reforested more than 100 hectares of degraded landscape. We've also demarcated more than 300 hectares of degraded wetland systems. And this is actually going to improve on the water security within the catchment.
As we celebrate the 9th Water and Environment Week 2026, River Mpanga, unlike before, now shows significant progress in restoration since the Conrad N. Hilton Foundation started. It's upon me and you to keep River Mpanga shining.